Welcome to Tush Twins, exclusively on malcolmpresents.com. Maybe not exclusively, but we're also on YouTube. And we got the big T for Tush. Is it T for Tush or well, you gotta do both.
Well, it's Tush. It's
Tush
T for
and Maxine
Tush.
Tush.
Don't get any ideas, Malcolm. It's
Tush
Tush.
Twins.
Oh, okay. So
Anyway, welcome aboard. Why don't
welcome
we,
aboard. We're doing the intro. Yes, no,
do the
maybe.
intro? You're Max.
I'm Max. Well, doing the intro.
I'm
I'll do
Rusty.
Or
the-
Rusty.
Okay, and you
And I'm
know
Malcolm.
we have to say that through the years it's been like Lucy and Ethel, Laverne and Shirley, Thelma and Louise, Betty and Wilma, but we're the Tush twins, so we're just rolling over those ladies right now. So we've been friends longer than any of those folks by far.
Longer
60
than you-
plus years.
longer than
and
you-
we've had-
67 years.
We've had a lot of levity because we're crazy. We've had, some drama in our lives. Who doesn't have that? Joy and platonic love because we love each other. We're from Brighton Beach to Coney to New York City and the burbs and out to the whole wide world. We have been through it all, literally. And we want to take you through our journey because we know each other so well. Our atomic particles have been joined at the Tush. Woo, the Tush, the
you
Tush.
can finish each other's sentences.
We do.
We do.
Did you,
So-
did you ever see, there's a classic Charlie Chan with Warner Olin, where he has the driver, I forget the name, Jefferson or whatever it is, but Mantan Moreland. And Mantan Moreland goes into a prison and he sees someone that he knows from the old neighborhood. And what the dialogue is, Mantan Moreland says, "Do you remember?" And the guy says, "Oh yeah, he's been in." And Mantan Moreland picks it up, without the last words being fixed. "Oh, he's been.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know he was there. Do you realize he married? Oh, he married her." And
Well,
they finish
Okay, just so everyone knows out in the audience, the redhead and I, Paula, aka the redhead, aka Rusty, and Max, aka whatever you want to call me, and Malcolm here is kind of like a man triplet, part of the, we're the Tush twins, nothing can stop us. But somehow we have this kind of triplet guy here who just throws in stuff from wherever he is. And so that's Malcolm. That's why.
So people
Hey,
can't.
Malcolm.
I know what's coming because I throw
Right.
in something that's completely irrelevant.
Right, that's true, but it's good. So the redhead comes on and goes, look, what's different today? And I'm looking at her and I'm like, yeah, I think she got a haircut because I know she told me Carmine did her hair, but it's nothing like when Phil and I saw you at the toy show and you looked like Sandy Dennis and Peter Pan. It was just, and
I got a crow.
who did that to you? Because I'd like to literally take a scissor and chop off his you-know-what. Go ahead.
He's dead.
Oh, I guess I can't do that, but I would have back then. Who was this dude who chopped all your hair
Suga.
off?
He's a very famous Japanese hairstylist back in the 70s and 80s. And I was doing a runway show for Fiorucci. Remember Fiorucci back on 59th Street or something?
Yeah.
And he decided he was gonna trim my hair. And next thing I know, I am really short hair. I have
No, I
really
mean,
short hair.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Oh, no one I knew not liked it.
Oh, I did. My ex-husband, the best part was my ex-husband hated it so much, he refused to talk to me till it started growing back. It was the best 3 weeks of my life.
Hail, rock and roll. You are crazy. You are one crazy chick.
I want to see you do a Sinead O'Connor.
No.
Oh, God, no.
No, that ain't happening.
Buzz your head.
She has beautiful hair. Don't do that.
No.
It's iffy. Sometimes women that are have their head bald are very, very attractive. Sometimes it's
Not me.
They're
no,
really.
no.
I mean, I can't really say I like that, and then you don't know if it's bald for a particular reason. So it's kind of scary on many levels to me. I mean, so I'm not kind of not in with that for various reasons. But what the heck, Carmine did a good job. I'm like Peppy. I'm
doing
Peppy.
my hair.
This is actually gray. It looks like there's nothing there, but it's actually white. So Peter's coming next week.
Pepe Le Pew.
Peter's got to do something. So anyway, so we want to talk about different things, and we try to figure out what we're going to talk about. Somehow we got off the topic of,
We never
she
talked
said,
about
look at my hair.
Half our show is over.
But we wanted to talk about food. And growing up in Brighton, Brooklyn, what foods were, what we loved, what we ate. There's so much. There's just so much. So where should we start? I mean, proverbially, with Brooklyn Jews, Chinese comes to
Start with
mind.
Chinese food.
Okay, so Chinese. I had Jade Mountain, and you
Jade
had
Mountain I had New Deal.
right.
I had
'cause-
Jade Mountain. Your mother took me for the first time to a restaurant. I've never eaten inside a Chinese restaurant until I was about 7 years old, because we always took it out. We always
Mhm.
brought it home. So I went to a restaurant with you, Jade Mountain, and my favorite thing was number 1 or
Chow-
number 7.
I like
What
number
is
seven.
number 1? What
It's
was
chow
number
mein-
1,
chow
Max?
mein,
Chicken
right?
chow mein.
Right, chicken chow
Egg
mein
roll. It was wonton soup, egg roll, and chicken chow mein
and fried rice.
and fried rice.
Oh no, was it fried
No, white rice with
White
the
rice,
chow mein,
chow mein.
with the crispy noodles.
And
Number
a
7,
scoop of ice cream.
Seven
what
was
was 7, Max?
spare ribs with
The egg roll,
with
soup,
egg roll,
and
fried rice, and soup, and all for a ridiculous price of who knows, $1. I mean, it was a couple of bucks. It was just, I mean, now you go, what the hell? We're ancient, but Molly and Jack's, what was it? 50
It
cents?
was 50 cents for a hamburger, French fries, a Coke, and an ice cream.
Right. And that was, they would let us out of school. And we were like 10 years old. And they said, oh, go to lunch and come back. So we would go to lunch. I mean, we'd
Yeah.
walk.
We used to
We were-
start in 7th grade.
No,
In
no,
second
this
grade, we
wasn't-
start second grade. I'm sorry,
I
second.
don't
My
think it was
brother,
second. I think if I'm remembering right, that was too young. I think 4th grade, they let us out, 4th and 5th.
No, we always went out. I went home for lunch every day in PS 253. And my brother had to go, because I remember distinctly, my brother was going for psychiatry because from having polio and neurological
things.
problems. So they used to go to the Karen Horney Clinic every Thursday, starting when I was in 2nd grade. So every day I would go home for lunch with you on Thursdays to your mom. Your mom would pick us up and we'd go to
Right.
your mom, go back to your house. I think in 3rd grade, we started going out to lunch. My mother would give me 75 cents every Thursday. We'd go to either to, what was the name of the diner?
It wasn't C something, C Lane,
Sea Lane, Seagulls.
Seagulls. I knew it was
Seagulls Diner.
something. C Lane was the
Lynn Dorn-
bakery.
Lynn Dornberg's mother was the waitress there.
I remember that.
We were horrible kids.
We were horrible. We used to do things that we
And
shouldn't
there was
have done.
75 cents there,
Yeah, but Molly and Jack was 50.
50 cents. And so what was the other ones? Molly and Jack's, and the other one on the other corner. It was,
don't know.
it was 2 of them.
I just
But we used to
remember,
also have extra, Molly and Jack. I remember getting extra pennies for candy.
right, because the
They
candy
had the
didn't
penny
cost it.
candy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, but imagine today saying, during lunch, either go home or go across the street on Neptune Avenue and go
Mhm.
to have lunch at Molly and Jack's, or go to Brighton Beach Avenue
Yeah.
and go to lunch at Seagull.
Well, I'm in-
Seagulls or Rocco's Pizza.
Well, Rocco's was too far. We're 253. I think we kind of try to stay in the area. What other pizza place was up at your end on 7th?
There was right on my corner, there was Frankie's Place. I can't remember the name of it, but it used to be originally a
pizza-
health food store. And then there was Frankie's Pizza right on the corner. Great pizza. We used to go there and it was 15 cents for a slice of pizza and a Coke.
Well, Rocco's was 25 cents for a slice and a Coke.
That was the expensive part.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
It was,
we had to
25, it
support.
was 15 and 10 cents.
Mama
That's right.
Rocco
15.
knew I would walk in and she knew me. Like there was no, you know, she knew the Margot
The
family. That was
best,
it.
yeah, she knew us.
She knew everybody.
You would
It
relate
was
to this.
Mama Rocco. Sometimes she goes, here's a meatball to me,
Yeah,
you know, and she would, the meatball heroes were really good there too.
the best veal and pepper sandwiches
Oh,
heroes in the world. Nothing beat the veal
Phil
and
would
pepper
always eat
ever.
the veal and pepper sandwich. That was a big
Mhm.
thing.
Well, you guys wouldn't
That
relate
was-
to this, but I don't know the pizza places you went to because I'm the other end in Coney Island. But there was
Yeah.
a place right across the street from PS 188, which is where I went to elementary school. It's called the Salvo's Bakery. And what they
Mhm.
did,
Oh, yeah.
it's a regular bakery, but on just at lunchtime, they made a Sicilian pizza.
Okay.
The thick, square, rectangle pieces.
Mm.
And I
I'm
used
not crazy about that.
I love that, and I used to eat the corners of it because that's where the crust was on, you know.
Yeah, I like the corn. I love the
sides.
crust.
But I never knew that pizza was a triangular, the regular pizza,
Yeah.
until I went to junior high school, and then we used to go to Johnny's, and it had thin. They were thin slices. They weren't as thick as the Sicilian.
You would
Yeah, I like
hold it in
the-
a piece of paper like this, you know, the wax paper or the slice,
Right.
and the grease would go down your
Right.
arm, and you do it all. It's
You'd
so
have to put a
good.
napkin there, otherwise you
Yeah.
had grease on your arm. There was
It was,
no.
my mouth is watering right now. It's going,
uh, it's just at this point, it Rocco's was like it for me, and
yeah, for me too. Rocco's,
So-
it just recently closed about 2 years ago.
so we spoke of Chinese, and we had New Deal and Jade Mountain, but
And
down the block from where we used to,
Lele,
we had, I think they pronounced it Lai
Lila Kitchen.
Kitchen, and it wasn't far from my mom's store on Brighton First Road. So when we had a lunch break, we'd go to Lai Kitchen and we would order a pint of fried rice with this gloopy brown gravy.
Mhm.
Gross, just
So
total
delicious.
gross. It was so delicious, and it didn't matter what we ate. Yeah, we're 12, 13, 14, it ain't going anywhere. We're two skinny marinks. And everyone would have the Lai Kitchen white rice with goopy brown gravy.
Brown gravy.
And
Mhm. That was the best.
sometimes wonder what we were thinking, but that was pretty
when did
pretty
you guys
big.
first start eating with chopsticks?
chopsticks.
Really?
Probably, I would say
About 7 or
tried to-
8.
they try to give me they gave me chopsticks in Jade Mountain a couple of
Yeah.
times, and the waiter, he knew me forever since I was a kid. He used to call me skinny.
Skinny?
Skinny. I was pretty skinny kid.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes, you were.
I was, good weight actually. I wasn't skinny, but
I
he-
was skinny.
So we were both pretty skinny, and he said, "I want you to try this," and he showed me how to do it. And at first, I had no idea what I was doing, and then finally he said, "You scoop it, put it together and scoop it," and that's how I learned it, because I scooped it.
Well,
was-
that-
it
that's
was-
it. If you go to a Chinese restaurant now where Chinese people are eating, they don't have, even a combination place, they don't have the rice on the regular plate. They have the rice in the bowl.
Yeah,
Bowl.
And they- and
Yeah,
they-
that's
and
the
they-
best way to eat it.
Right,
and they eat it straight out with
you
the
eat it,
chopsticks.
bring the bowl to your mouth,
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
That's
not
pokey.
unusual.
and you
You
scoop
see
it.
That's
that all the
Korean
time.
pokey.
Pokey. I don't like
Pokey.
pokey. Sorry.
That's how the Chinese people eat it with.
And just think, there's a game called Pokemon.
Pokemon,
Think
yeah.
about that. Is there any suggestive
Poke-
language in that? Pokemon.
We're a PG show, so.
Oh yeah, we gotta. So
We-
then we have some Italian restaurants like Carolina's and Gargiulo's in
Oh, Carolina's. Oh, my ravioli parmesan.
well, I used to like the chicken franchise or the chicken parm, but the thing was, when we were older, I remember going when I was working and had my office, we would meet with Charles and Byron and a
Mhm.
bunch of people, and we'd eat at Carolina's, we'd have a full meal. And then the cyclone. And
Uh-oh.
you'd have to,
Mhm.
oh yeah. And we have to see how many times one could go on without vomiting. Most people didn't do well. Les would wave. He said, "You're out of your freaking mind." Me, Byron, and our record was 10. Me, Byron, and Charles, 10, without getting sick.
You must have been rich because the cyclone was always expensive.
It was, it
I
was
was
25
was
cents when we
working.
were
I-
kids and
that
10
point.
cents
We were all working
yeah, it
then.
was a
didn't
re-ride
matter.
was 10 cents.
Yeah, it wasn't, I mean, this was the 80s. So yeah, whatever it was, probably $1 or something, or $2, even, it didn't matter because we were working. Who cared at that point, right?
Well, this was
No.
known as weight control. You can use.
Yes.
Yeah, except those that
Projectile.
we did not puke, so we didn't have the issue of the weight. But there were people who just lost it. They tossed their cookies literally. Yeah, so that was Carolina's and Gargiulo's.
Caroline's was great, and Gargiulo's, my parents, because we were pretty poor. We didn't have a lot of money. My father wasn't, was
You
off
did
and on.
okay.
We
You
did
got
okay
by.
towards.
Come on.
No, we did. We were rich but we were very young because my father was out of work for strikes and all that, and we were a union kid. So we
Yeah.
had to really watch our pennies. But our big famous restaurant that we loved to go to, and my father got a paycheck, was Nathan's, but in the restaurant in the back. Not
Right.
too many people remember going there with us.
I would go there. We would go
Yeah,
there.
we used to go there,
That's
and
the
the old
the
waiters,
the corridor where you can
courtyard,
get
yeah,
the corn. You can get corn in that corridor. There.
yes,
hot
and
corn.
yes, and then I went back there just before they closed that down. The same waiter was still there,
Oh my God.
walking like a little altacaca. Oh,
Wow. Well,
But he
because
was
he was a
still
little
there.
Altacaca.
yeah, he
He
was.
must be 110 by now. Let's see. Who knows?
But I loved it. I would have my chicken chow. We called it chicken charmaine sandwiches back
okay.
then.
Charmaine.
Charmaine sandwiches.
Charmaine, not chow mein, Charmaine.
Charmaine. My mother,
Right.
to God rest her soul, to the day she died,
Your
that's all
mom
she
called it
said.
Charmaine.
Chicken charmaine.
My mom did call it chow mein though.
You know, chow mein is Chinese
Not-
American dish. It's not in.
It's an American.
It's not Chinese. One time we took my mother, I think my brother graduated law school or something. We took her to Chinatown. And she always liked chicken chow mein or sub gum chow mein.
Okay.
So
Has everything in it.
she ordered from the waiter, and the waiter says, "I'm sorry, we don't serve that." And my mother looks at my brother and me. She says, "You sure this is a Chinese restaurant?"
Yeah, right. Yeah, because they had actual food. Yeah,
It's Szechuan. I never ate Szechuan until I was an adult. We used to go to this one place, Maxine. Do you remember my parents would take us, my family, to Waukese on
Mhm.
Pell Street?
Pell
We
Street.
used to go. You had to go down the stairs to this Chinese restaurant.
And it wasn't
they didn't have
69
chicken-
Bayard. That was
That was later
that was
on. That was
Bayard.
in the
right.
same.
That was
this is
later
Pell
on when we
Street.
went.
Mhm.
But Pell Street, I remember Pell Street. Yeah, it was-
Waukese, and my family
it
would
was-
go there.
It was thriving. Now, one of the biggest places that people are going is the Flushing.
Yes.
They said the best Chinese restaurants in the city
Or in Flushing.
are in Flushing.
Yes.
So we got to go.
Well, there's
Okay.
probably a Chinese community there.
It
It's
is. And
all Chinese. I lived in
it-
Flushing back in 75 till 77. And my whole neighborhood, when it was all Jewish at one point, turned all Chinese.
Mhm.
And the best restaurants came in. Oh my God, it was amazing. And now it's all Chinese restaurants and Korean. They have
Well, you have to use the
Indonesian,
term Asian now
Asian.
to be
Now it's
politically
Asian.
correct. Back in the day, we said other things, which I won't say right now. But yes,
But not
Yeah.
me. I never said that.
yeah, neither. Well,
Well, I didn't
Never.
know.
I say that Sonny, Ray, my mom would say, let's go to the Chinese restaurant, but it
Right.
was a different name.
Starting with
Time,
the
yes.
with the K.
My
Yeah, well,
parents
let's
would never
not
let
go
me
there.
say that.
Right.
But
So
I didn't know that was derogatory.
it is very.
Yeah, well, yeah. it
Let's
is.
get off of this and go on to, I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Quickly, favorite Stahl's Knish?
Potato.
Mel?
I
Plain
like
old
I like
potato.
a good kasha knish.
I like the kasha also. And being a weirdo, I like the cabbage.
Cabbage.
I
Because-
like that.
because I'm a weirdo. And then they had the cherry cheese, the pineapple cheese. I mean,
I didn't like that stuff in those days.
But I liked the potato, but kasha, but I love the cabbage. My mom she gave me a cabbage dish. I didn't know what it was. And I loved it. It was just, you're the weird kid. That's it.
I have
you
a
know.
question for you, Max. What
Yeah.
is my all-time favorite food?
Food?
Yeah, what's my favorite thing to eat? What do I love more than anything
Pasta.
else? Yeah, but what's on the pasta?
Ketchup. Ketchup is your favorite food.
Oh,
It's not a food, although Ronald Reagan said it was a vegetable.
It is. It's the best food.
Mm.
I agree with him.
Max,
Oh,
There's
boy.
not much I agree with, but I agree on that.
yesterday we had a show with Courtney.
Right, and you said that,
And I said that we had a show with Courtney on health.
Courtney.
And she's a dietitian, a chef,
Mhm.
a physical fitness nut,
Yeah.
everything. And we're talking about foods and comfort foods.
Mhm.
And she's
Right.
Italian, so she was talking about all sorts of things. And I said, I have to a comfort food for me, which my mother used to make when she was in a hurry, was pasta, ketchup, and butter.
Just plain ketchup and
No,
butter.
I
To this
don't-
day, I still love it.
And mix it. And both of them, Max and Courtney, sort of like almost turned aside and had to throw up. They said,
Yeah,
how can you do that? And now you come in, Max.
She does. She ate spaghetti with ketchup.
Because I didn't like food as a child.
You're
I didn't
so
eat. I was
weird.
so
You're just weird.
skinny.
You're both
So
weird.
the only thing my parents would give me, that my grandmother would give me that I would eat, was spaghetti and ketchup. And to make myself, do you remember the Lincoln Luncheonette on Neptune Avenue and Ocean Parkway? It was the Lincoln.
Yeah.
Okay, we used to go there every
Yeah.
single day for a malted. I would drink
This
the
also
whole
was
2 malted.
Nats. Nats on the
Nats
other
too.
corner. Yeah.
Yes,
But
Malted.
I used to,
anyway,
just so I could gain weight.
when I wanted to fast, when I was home with my kids and my wife was away something, and I wanted something fast when they were like, before they were teens, I used to make the pasta with ketchup and butter to give to them. But my mother's name was Lee, so I used to call it, oh, this is pasta a la Lee.
Oh God.
It sounded fancy.
No, it doesn't really take that much to make some healthier tomato sauce.
I
but
still would do that. It tastes good.
okay. Well, that's
My
a comfort
my-
food for both
yeah.
of you.
But my
You know,
comfort
that-
food after that was spaghetti and meatballs, or spaghetti that Ruthie would make with Del Monte tomato sauce and butter.
Right.
Oh my God, that was my to this day. They don't sell Del Monte anymore by me.
It's hard
There's
to
no-
find. It's hard to find, but
They have Hunt's, and it's not the same.
no, it's different. It's whatever ingredient they used or however they mixed it, it was,
It was the best. It was
Yeah.
really good.
so that was pretty much something.
Growing up food.
Yeah. Well, so what about ice cream? What did we usually like?
Vanilla.
But we'd also we'd have the ice cream man, have you seen the ice
Really?
cream man? Bungalow
I see him.
bar.
I see him.
Right,
Bungalow bar.
Tastes
Tastes like
tar.
tar. The
The
more,
more
you eat it,
the sicker
the
you
sicker
are.
you are.
Right.
Well, my favorite in New York was going to the Carvel store and getting the soft ice cream. I don't know if
We had
it's.
I don't like
Carvel.
soft ice cream. We had Carvel too.
I
But we
love
also
Carvel.
had, ready, drum roll, jams,
Yes.
the kitchen sink.
The kids, yeah.
Remember
Yes.
that? You
Yep.
have 10 girls around the kitchen sink and still couldn't finish it.
Yeah, what we used to do with the guys, I don't know if the girls did it, we used to put it in a spoon and use it as slingshots.
Oh,
No,
no, we didn't do that.
no, we just kind of ate it
We-
and talked about whatever singing group we kind of liked.
Or
with
we'd
the-
go from there to bowling alley right down the block. Rainbow
Right, and-
Lanes.
and you would get bowling alley food, meh,
French
but we ate it.
fries.
A hamburger, fries, Coke or something. I don't know. Never that.
You know what we're missing?
Just French fries and a Coke.
But we also had Lundy's and juniors and seniors
They were more formal.
and Rollin' Roaster and
Yes,
Big
it's still there.
Daddy's. Is
I
Big
love
Daddy
Big
still there?
Daddy's. No, it's
Big
been gone
Daddy's
for
is gone.
years.
Rollin' Roaster is there though.
Still.
I just
What?
read that Big Daddy's was owned by one of Nathan Handwerker's nephews. Nathan Hemrick is
Yes.
the one who started Nathan's.
Nathan's.
That
Mhm.
makes a lot of sense.
Nephews,
Because it,
We
What
went
up?
to Big Daddy's and we saw Mitch riding in Detroit Wheels. Do you remember that, Max?
right, singing Devil in the Blue Dress.
Blue
Yeah,
dress.
the blue dress.
So
They
excited.
that was the big hit, and they had them at Big Daddy's, and that was a big
Mhm.
deal for us.
Yes, it was.
You know what you're missing out on as two Jewish girls?
What's that?
Corned beef on rye or corned beef on club.
Oh no, we
Yes.
had
No, we ate
Irving's.
that. We had them in
Irving's.
Irving's and Manhattan
Irving
Deli.
had the best corned beef on rye. Actually, we would get corned beef on club or pastrami on club. And my mom would call in the order. My dad would give me money. I'd walk from my house in Ocean Parkway to, it was like 4th Street and
Right in
Brighton Beach
6th Street.
Avenue. 4th, I think it
Right
was
in-
4th or 5th.
No, Alfrictor's was, it
Or-
was
or
on Brighton
Frictic
6th
was
Street.
4th. And
It was on
that,
6th.
and who was that? Or Frictic? Who was
Marv
that?
Albert's parents.
Marv Albert.
Marv Albert's parents. That's really Marv Albert's last name, and Al Albert, and
Alfrictor.
his brothers all got in the business of
His
sports
brothers and
casting.
his sons and his nephews, they were all, and they were all
Well,
good.
well, it's good that they can keep it in the family, you know, keep it
By
in
the
the
way,
family.
Marv retired. This last year was his last year doing NBA basketball.
Oh yeah, it's okay.
And I know, of course, he went to Lincoln High School.
We know.
You know that I didn't realize that Mel Brooks went to Lincoln High School
Yeah.
for a short time. Mel Brooks, did you hear
Yeah,
me,
I
ladies
know.
and gentlemen?
I read that.
Yes.
In his
Also-
book, he said he went to Lincoln.
Also, Buddy Rich's brother. I don't know if Buddy Rich went there, the drummer.
No, Buddy. Well,
Buddy Rich's father lived in my building on 7th Street. And when he would come in, I would always talk, I love Buddy Rich. He was a nice guy. I would talk to him about dancing for some reason. I don't know why, but tap dancing. We were taking lessons
oh,
with
shuffle,
Don,
hop,
Shuffle
step,
Step,
Don, whatever, Don
Emmons.
Emmons. Oh my God.
Well, actually, tap dancing and playing an instrument are very similar. I had a show interviewing. It was a radio show interviewing a famous old time TV people, and we're interviewing some people from the Horace Welch show, and one of them, I
In
think,
Lawrenceville.
yeah, Lawrence Welk. I think one of them was I forget, Arthur Duncan or something, who's a tap dancer.
Oh, yeah.
And what we did is we put the microphone on the floor, and he tap danced, and it was almost like he was playing an instrument.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's the same.
It's a great thing. I love tap dancing. If it wasn't for my knees, I'd still probably be doing it.
Well, take your knees
Yeah,
out.
the guys who really are up there, was it Glover? Is he still doing it?
Yes, he is. For
and,
Max, Lundy's.
Lundy's.
How did you get a table in Lundy's?
how did you get a table in London?
How did you get seated in Lundy's? Do you remember?
No. How?
You would watch a table that's getting dessert, stand behind them. As soon as they
Oh.
got up, you ran to the table before they cleaned it.
Oh,
There was no
That's the
reservation.
only way.
I was never in that loop of making me stand behind it, but maybe
My
there's
parents,
someone
the
else who
only
did.
way with the
The only
pits
thing
and-
I really ate there, because I don't like fishy, seafoody stuff,
I know.
but I did like the clam chowder.
Mhm.
Not the clams, but the white clam chowder with the potatoes,
Yeah.
and the Lundy's crispy, delicious oyster
Oh,
crackers.
those oyster crackers. Yep.
Yep,
We
and
really
that's
didn't
what
go
I
to
ate.
London's as a
I
family.
ate fried shrimp.
We never went to London's as a family because we weren't kosher, but we ate kosher style.
Oh,
So shrimp, not that we were the kosher, my mother didn't eat it. Or lobster, my mother didn't eat it, or clams, my mother didn't eat it.
We
we
ate
never
all
went
that
there.
stuff, but out. And my father made bacon in the house. And my friends, and Max, including Maxine, would come for breakfast at my house because we had bacon. in the
because I
house.
couldn't make bacon in my house because my
Mhm.
dad didn't like bacon and he wouldn't eat. He was pretty kosher. We had 2 sets of dishes in silver,
Yep.
but when dad was out, mom would make bacon.
Kids would play.
Bacon.
No, she would make bacon, but she didn't disguise the odor very well. So when he got in, he'd go, Ruthie, it's like, Lucy, what did you do? It's like, did she make bacon? I'm like,
No,
I just
and
shook my
meanwhile, the
head.
pieces hanging out of
You
your
know, I'm
mouth.
like,
No,
no, I don't know.
My aunt Gussie didn't make bacon. She made something called kosher bacon. I think they were strips of meat
It was strips of pastrami.
or whatever, but it didn't taste like bacon because my
Mm.
grandfather lived in the house and he was kosher, so she kept a kosher house.
Yeah, well,
But growing up
that
in an
eventually went
apartment,
away.
but growing up in an apartment building, especially during the holidays, the
Oh, you'd smell
smells from
everything.
each apartment, you walk into the building
Yeah,
and it was amazing.
You had a
The
whiff of everything.
smells of everything cooking kosher and foods, and that's my biggest memory as a child for the holidays, is walking into my building just before we sit down for our holiday dinner.
you smelled the brisket. You knew that was
Yeah.
cooking.
Mm-hmm.
You
As I
smelled
said,
like
it's
turkey or
99
chicken. You
99
smelled soup, like really good.
I lived in an apartment house which had 56 units.
Yeah.
I think probably like 54 of them were all Jewish.
Mhm.
The other two were Italian. If you weren't
Yeah, well, that's we
you
all
were Italian.
we fit together very well.
Mhm.
My block growing up in on Ocean Parkway, we had a lot of Italian family. We also had friends from Spain and friends from Cuba and people from Germany. It was such a diverse block.
Yeah,
of
your block was
people.
diverse, but not my building. It was 99% Jewish and one not. It was our superintendent, Arthur
Well,
Kelly,
Of
whose
all
son is wonderful.
of all the private houses, we were one of the only Jewish family of the private houses, because the 2727 building, which is where my grandma lived, it was probably 98% Jewish.
98 Jewish, yeah.
So,
Anyway,
but anywho,
speaking about that, or it's actually not speaking about that, our time is up.
oh
Oh
no,
no.
If you have any more
no,
memories, store them and we can bring it up next week.
absolutely, because we could talk about Christmas in Brighton and winters on the beach.
Yeah,
Yes.
I wanted to speak to you as two nice Jewish kids after you celebrated Hanukkah,
We'll,
how you celebrated Christmas.
we'll do
work on
that
it
in the
next
next
week.
show.
Next show. Okay,
Next
guys.
show. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned next week.
Well, live long and prosper,
Live long and prosper.
and hail the Tushes.
Peace be with you, my children.
Peace be with you.
Bye.
Hail,
Shalom.
shalom, tata.